Water, the lifeblood of our existence, is woven intricately into every facet of our lives. From sustaining ecosystems to fueling economies, its significance cannot be overstated. We drink it, grow our food with it, and power industries through it, yet often overlook its fragility amidst the forces of climate change and agricultural demands. In the following presentation, we delve into the vital relationships between water, agriculture, and the looming spectre of climate change. This digital essay navigates the intricate interplay between these elements, dissecting their impacts on our water reserves and access.
The average American household uses 300 gallons of water a day. This corresponds to using a hot tub of water every day. The average individual consumes astonishing amounts of water daily in more ways than we could ever imagine. Current agricultural attitudes combined with the multifaceted urgency and dilemma of climate change is leading to our freshwater reserves being depleted at a rapidly unsustainable rate. It is imperative that we call for change in the way our agricultural industry handles our precious freshwater reserves. An example of this is virtual water, which encapsulates the water usage in the production processes. The water used in the production process of an agricultural or industrial product is called the virtual water of the product. Food production is the leading factor in high virtual water consumption. Agricultural processes heavily rely on water to ensure the food we consume is of the best quality. Unfortunately, this means that water consumption in agriculture is incredibly high and has detrimental effects on water sustainability.
Exponential population growth has led to record highs in demand for water availability, leading to record highs in freshwater usage and waste. These components have increased water demand worldwide, which has increased our vulnerability to events of drought. This situation is greatly attributable to agriculture, the world's largest water consumer, which is extremely wasteful. The OECD estimates that agriculture irrigation accounts for 70% of water use worldwide. A US Geological Survey report highlighted that irrigation accounted for 42% of the nation's total freshwater withdrawals in 2015. This clearly shows a worldwide problem. The agricultural industry viciously exploiting our valuable freshwater resources at a rate that cannot be maintained. This phenomenon isn't new. It was highlighted in 1997. A review paper stated that the associated increase in irrigated agriculture have led to the mining of groundwater resources, where the rate of withdrawal is faster than the recharge rate. The era of climate change is uncertain, yet we know that the implications it will have on agriculture are negative. Climate change is expected to modify water and energy cycles with varying air temperatures and the changes of seasonal and temporal precipitation patterns. The changes are projected to impact crop water demand, irrigation water availability, and agricultural productivity.
Having clean and reliable water sources are essential for human survival as it forms a unique link between people and their environment. Climate change has and will continue to have a significant impact on water sources due to an increase in evaporation and precipitation. Accounting for climate change and water supply requires large investments in water supply systems as they ensure we maintain safe use of water. The Board of Climate Water Science states that climate change could amplify existing political and security stress and push water systems over critical thresholds. This means that if we are to continue our water usage the way we are now, our supply of water could deplete at detrimental rates. Climate change factors can contribute to violent conflict as it requires large investments to ensure no more damage is done. Gathering this money is very challenging, and many companies are not willing to change their ways to account for environmental benefits. As the Colorado River continues to dwindle, it is imperative to be reminded that this is an issue the world faces, not just Western America. The future is grave and highlights an urgent need for systematic reform that aims to tackle the problems being caused by agriculture and climate change. The sooner we act, the less irreversible damage is done, and our access to fresh water, one of the most important resources to mankind. We have interviewed an expert in the topics of water sustainability to gain further information.
It's Courtney DiVittorio, and I am an assistant professor in the engineering department at Wake Forest University.
What is water sustainability and supply?
I think water sustainability and supply is very contextual. Something I tend to say a lot is that water is always local. So you can't really think about water sustainability and supply without the local context. I've also had some experience in international development and looking at water sectors, and it's kind of a privilege to think about water sustainability sometimes when you're still trying to have enough water to meet your basic needs. So I think it's also tied in with, economic development and how well off people are in terms of meeting their basic needs before you can start thinking more long term and ensuring your water supply is more sustainable.
In your experience, what impacts do climate change and agriculture have on our freshwater resources, specifically focusing on the Colorado River and the changes that have occurred over the past few decades?
Colorado River is a very complex system, and when the Bureau of Reclamation first decided to engineer that system, it was very much focused on development and harnessing that water to grow communities. And they weren't really thinking too long term. They saw this tremendous economic opportunity. And I'm sure there were, some scientists and engineers that were looking at it a bit more deeply. And I think there were, and I'm not an expert in everything that happened, but I think there were warnings earlier on that, this water supply is eventually, going to dry up. We've been studying hydrology and measuring river flow for a really long time. The tools have gotten a lot better, but it's not shocking that we're in this situation now where the Lake Mead is, has consistently, we keep breaking records, right? It keeps getting lower and lower. I think most people could have predicted this regardless of climate change. And climate change, of course, is generally making it worse. But the way that we've been using water from the Colorado River Basin has been unsustainable since the Hoover Dam was built. So nobody should be shocked that we're in this situation.
Thank you to Courtney for taking time to share her expertise with us, and thank you for watching.